RadioColusa.com.
This is Just Pressed. Hello everyone, this is Lloyd here with the Pioneer Review, and I'm joined with Susan Meeker. Been a long time since we've done a Just Pressed, and Susan is the editor of the Pioneer Review. This week we thought we'd kind of kick off this episode again, try to get these going, and had some things come up with the other shows, so we're going to go ahead and get this one going. So the purpose of this show, Just Press, is talk about things happening in the news, the newspaper, and just kind of expand a little bit of what we actually do here at the Pioneer Review. So as we know, COVID is opening up and things are happening. And Susan, you're out covering events. Maxwell Rodeo happened not that long ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, things are getting wild and have been wild for the last couple of weeks. Maxwell Rodeo was great. I was in the parade with the Maxwell.
In the parade? Where were you, Grand Marshal?
No. That was Irene Felix.
Irene Felix. And so what were you doing in the parade there at Maxwell?
Well, I'm in the Maxwell Park Auxiliary, so I dressed my little Subaru as a big steer because that was it was 90 years of steers, cheers, and something about rodeo.
90 years of bulls, steers, and cheers.
Bulls, steers, and cheers. So I was in the parade, so I was grateful for Sherry Azevedo to come out and cover the parade for us this year.
Oh, that's right. She covered that.
Pictures, and so I didn't have to do the reporting on it. So it was nice to be on the participation end. I've been in it before. That was great, but we've got a lot of things coming up.
So there was a lot of people out there for the event, do you think? Like normal? Was it seem like?
To me, it seems like normal. To people who are just going to the parade or just going to the car show or the rodeo, it seemed to them like, man, this has got to be because we're opened up in COVID. I think the only real difference between Max Rodeos in the past is they did have more cars for the car show. I mean, they had to turn some away.
Yeah.
So it was a massive showing of cars for the car show. But the parade is always, 35 to 50 entries. The Maxwell Fire Department are a riot. They're a hoot. I mean, they're worth going just to see them. And so it was great to see Kit and Haley out there.
Giving out firefighter bucks. They were.
Oh, man, you should have seen the street. It was littered. They actually blew, I don't know, they must have had thousands of little
picture. It says Maxwell Fire Department stimulus package.
Yes, it was the stimulus package. So it was wild, and everyone had a lot of fun, and it was a nice day.
Well, it has been nice on the weekends lately, and Kit and Haley went to that. They said they had an amazing time. They loved being out there and seeing everyone there and running into some of the fans of the show. Haley was like, man, you never realize how when people listen to you and you're out and they're like, oh, you're from the podcast.
Yeah.
But
they should have had a flow.
I know we should have. We're trying now that things are getting back. It's just now getting back into the swing of things, getting our schedules all lined back up. But one of the things that they said is they've been going to a couple different places and things have just been packed. Yeah. They went out to, I think it's Slough House, the new restaurant out there on the river. And they said it was just packed. They had some singers out there and the bar was full. And I mean, I think people are just happy things are open and going out and doing things.
We don't normally go to the casino. I'm not a gambler, and there's too much cigarette smoke in there. But we went out there one Saturday night.
Hey, you're a reporter. Don't you smoke?
No.
No, neither do I.
Those were the old days. I used to smoke. At that time we used to have people had booze in the drawer and an ashtray on the desk. But that's been.
There are some days I'm like, there's no wonder why I know people in this industry are raging alcoholics.
Yeah. But there was always a lot of drinking and smoking in the newsroom. Yeah. And I smoked myself 30 years ago, but things have changed. But we did go out to watch DFT Cornhole one night. So that's great. They do that out on Saturday nights. And there was a band out there too that was really good, but I don't know who they were.
Yeah, they've been doing things. I think there's some movies, events, and stuff that they're having, and they have it all on their website there. And they have all kinds of. So the Master Gardeners did something most recently. They have their what is that called? The demonstration garden?
Demonstration garden. And we were out there. It was a windy day. They were out there checking the tomatoes and stuff like that. But mainly they are doing something that's coming up. They have it's a donation day where you can go on their website and donate on that specific day.
Okay.
And Messick's is going to match the first $250.
Oh yeah, on June 4th.
On June 4th. So that's this week. Make sure you get your donations. And I mean, you could take it out. You could take it out to the corporate extension office on Sunrise Boulevard and drop off a check. But this is a big day, you know, for all Master Gardeners programs. But this money will go just for the demonstration garden. So that was fun. I was out there with the ladies, and the wind was just like howling.
Jerry and Sandy had their podcast this week with the Master Gardeners. The garden runs through it, and they briefly talked about the demonstration garden. What I thought was kind of cool is the food that they grow here. They're going to donate it to some of the area food banks. Right. And so the different tomatoes and stuff that after they
slicers
do a little bit of you know, it was funny when she mentioned slicers. I was like, slicers?
Don't we slice them all?
Do you have meat slicers out there? What are you talking about? And then you said it's a particular type of a tomato or something.
Yeah, they have multiple varieties. What's funny about my aunt, when the Morningstar first opened, the tomato cannery first opened, my aunt applied for a job there. They go, well, what kind of tomato experience do you have? And she goes,
eating them?
Well, I've grown them, I've picked them, I've sliced them, I ate them. She goes, what kind of tomato experience do you need? I mean,
right? I mean, that's kind of an odd question, especially for a place like that. Yeah. What I find funny is that during the harvest season and the tomato trucks are driving around, and obviously occasionally they overload or whatever happens and they tip over, and the people that will go out there after hours or, you know, a few hours later and start scooping up the tomatoes. I'm like, first of all, gross, but I get it. I mean, there's probably some salvageable tomatoes, but yeah, I just think it's funny. They're all on the side of the road, scooping them up. And
I'd be washing them off and eating them. It's not any different than picking sprayed tomatoes out of the field and washing them and eating them. You
don't know if they rolled over, you know, that carcass that was laying over that formerly was a possum.
Okay, yeah, use Perel. We've got Perel for everything now.
Gosh. I think we all got enough hand sanitizer.
Wipes, and what are we going to do with all this stuff?
I have gallons of. I was talking with one of our guests a couple of weeks ago. She's like, "Oh, I got 4 or 5 gallons," and I'm like, "I think I have like 12 gallons of the stuff." Yeah. It's like when you compare all the bottles and everything, you know, added up, it's like, gee, many crickets. But
yeah, especially when the CDC said, "Oh, we lied. It's really not on surfaces."
Not on surfaces, but we gave the hand sanitizer industry a boost. So yeah, you can give the Master Gardeners a boost by donating to their program. You can visit their website, cecolusa.ucanr.edu. That's cecolusa.ucanr.edu.
But there's a lot of other stuff. You know, I went up to Stody Ford for the telemedicine clinic that's open up there. This is like awesome. The trip up there, we went through road construction because, the county is doing a big stretch of road, and it's going to be nice. I mean, it's a long stretch, but got up there, and Chamber of Commerce was there. And
cool.
This is just the first. It's the first of one in possibly every church.
So this is like where someone needs to check in with a doctor or something like that, or
it's like if your kid has an ear infection or you have an allergy. It's for it's urgent care, but it's not like
a light urgent care.
It's light urgent care, or you know how currently, like with Anthem, I have Anthem, and like you could do and talk to a nurse. They can't really prescribe medicine, or they can't really give you medicine. They're going to say, "Oh, go to the ER room."
Yeah.
This is like, you could be, I got a tingling in my right arm. You could go to telemedicine and talk to an actual physician, and he will recommend you. And it's health. It's actually healthcare. Yeah. And I didn't really get too much into the story on the behavioral health side of it, but you know, a suicide crisis or
that's a big
substance abuse, and you need that little boost not to drink or take drugs, and any other kind of mental health issue, you go in and you speak.
Because sadly, Stony Ford, they're quite a bit of time away from a health facility.
Yeah, correct? It's basically half hour to Willows, and that's their nearest emergency room
and that can be,
and of course, no ambulance.
Yeah,
there's no ambulance. It's all by air now.
To get up there, yeah.
So it's only air.
It's sad because when the other hospital ownership that used to have the hospital, I mean, I think they tried to have one up there, but it was a full-on clinic and staffed. And I think this is a great way to partner with the Ministerial Association on that.
And it wasn't like an anthem-driven thing. This was the Ministerial Association and Jason McMullen going to them and saying, let's partner, let's do this. That's cool. Anthem said, what can we do to help? And they donated 21 iPads, and Colusa will be next. And that way, Jason said, that way they can gauge small community with the largest community in Colusa County to see what the need, what the demand is. And then eventually Maxwell, Arbuckle, Williams, and they will be in the churches. It's the churches that are making space for them.
Oh, cool. So some of the other things that are coming up, we have Memorial Day. That is this weekend. This Monday.
It's Monday.
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm going to be covering it, but
Maxwell seems to have a pretty bang up job with their ceremony that they do.
Their ceremony is probably the longest of the ceremonies. The VFW and American Legion will be at all the ceremonies, but their flag ceremonies in some.
The Colusa Cemetery that's out there on Wilson Avenue begins at 8:00, and Danielle said that they're having a ceremony there about 30 minutes, she said, and it's nice, bright and early. You can come out and enjoy it, and she too has been working on some great activities, and unfortunately she wasn't here to explain a little bit more what she has going on. But then at 8:30 in the morning, Arbuckle is having a ceremony there at the cemetery on Bailey Road. And then again in Colusa at 9:00 at the Holy Cross Cemetery. That's there on Westcott Road. 10:00 in Williams at the Williams Cemetery on Zumwalt. And then, of course, the Maxwell one at 11:30 there at the Maxwell Cemetery.
And I won't be able to cover them all. I can't be inclusive at 8 and then Arbuckle at 8:30.
It's just like, there's so many of them. I'm surprised. I wish we could get Don Parsons on and figure out what superpowers do they have to teleport themselves to all these different locations very quickly. So that'll be happening this Monday, the 31st. So remember, again, that is Colusa Cemetery at 8 a.m. on Wilson Avenue, the Arbuckle Cemetery at 8:30 on Bailey Road, Holy Cross Cemetery in Colusa at 9 a.m. on Westcott Road, and then the Williams Cemetery at 10 a.m. on Zumwalt Road, and then the Maxwell ceremonies at 11:30 a.m. there at the Maxwell Cemetery. Well, some other events that are coming up, one that's kind of fun is the Colusa County Arts Council has fair in the square.
I know.
I think this is pretty cool since, they're having not the fair. There's a derby and there's an animal auction for the kids, but the exhibit buildings aren't open. There's none of that like normal. There's no rides, fair. There's no traditional fair, what we know of. And so the Arts Council has stepped up and they're putting on a community display. So this is open up to everyone in the county. And so if you live in Colusa, you can put your artwork out in your front yard or your plants. If you have any baked goods that you want to show off, your pet chickens, that'd be kind of weird unless you have them on leashes. Table settings, your photography, whatever you would like, you can put it out in your front yard and display it during the time frame. Or they're at the park. What is that called? The Boy Scout, Willis. Well, it's on both sides of the park.
A.B. Davison is on one.
And Willis Green, they're at the, most people know where the scout cabin is or where the pool park is. They're going to have, again, where if you don't live in a county or if you just want to bring it down, then you can display it out there and people can walk around, enjoy the event. That's on Saturday, June 12th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then
you can call the Arts Council just like what they did with the quilt things where they put it on a map if you have stuff displayed in your
actually for the map
square.
The best is to email Sierra7Reading@gmail.com. That's SIERRA, the number 7, Reading@gmail.com. And Reading is READING.
I always used to enter stuff in the fair.
Yeah, I had a couple of things I was thinking about entering and, I was kind of disappointed and I I'm glad that the Arts Council stepped up, and even one of our own, Sherry Azevedo, is doing one for the 4-H kids in Maxwell. So I'm glad that the community has stepped up to kind of fill in that gap for the time being. And then later that night, they're having a summer street dance. It's featuring Ma Barker Band. And that is going to be from 6 to 10 p.m. at 5th and Market Streets. It's a $15 entry fee.
And that's the new entry fee, right?
Yes.
They raised it a little because of the restrictions.
There were some restrictions on stuff, so they had to unfortunately raise the price a little bit. So.
Yeah.
But there'll be a food truck and some dancing, and it's a fun little event. They've had it before. And then, as Susan has been planning the last couple of months, we have an event going on.
Founders Day. We should talk about Pioneer Day first, because you know what?
Right, yes.
Everybody is now confusing Williams Pioneer Day
I know.
with Colusa Founders Day. They're two separate events. But Pioneer Day is next Saturday.
Yep. That's
parade, vendors in the park. Karen's house is doing the vendors, and I understand today that they're full.
Wow.
But Karen's house is also doing Founders Day on June 19th for the vendors. So it's going to be the same people, same contact.
Oh, cool.
They're doing it as a fundraiser. It's just great. So Pioneer Day is the parade. And
yep, and they're still accepting parade applications. And this year with the Pioneer Day parade, you can win $300, $200, or $100. That would be for first, second, and third place for the best float, which is Hometown Heroes.
Hometown Heroes.
And so if you want to spotlight a hero, and you go ahead and do that on your float and have that. And then Pat Ash, she was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and afterwards we realized we forgot to mention there is fireworks.
Yes, Morning Star.
Morning Star again sponsored the fireworks. They happen always about 9:00 p.m. It's generally when the sun goes down and it's dark enough.
It's dark enough.
So stop asking what exact time. It's when it's dark enough, whenever the pyrotechnic thinks that it's dark enough to start lighting them off. And also wind conditions and all that other stuff that may factor in, because I've seen it many a times. They have it all set up, and then minutes before it starts, the wind changes direction and they have to re-angle the fireworks, and that can take some time sometimes. So look towards the east in Williams and you'll see the beautiful fireworks show. And
I think there's going to be some activities right around the museum.
They usually have a few activities.
Usually do something. And in fact, Dixie asked me to churn butter with kids, so I may. It's not going to be churning; it is going to be shaking butter, and then the kids are going to be doing all the shaking. But
well, that should be fun.
I think that's kind of like.
Why do they choose butter? They should have an ice cream.
You know what? You need an ice cream churn with salts and things like that.
But the coffee cans, but I don't think they make coffee cans out of metal anymore.
Yeah.
And then of course, like you said, we have Colusa Founders Day.
Founders Day is on the 19th. And we started talking about this after the Colusa's 150th celebration of
2019?
Yeah, 2018.
Oh, Lord.
So 2019,
that was ages ago.
And then 2019 came around and we thought, you know what, we really should have kind of established an annual event centered around the incorporation of Colusa. So we started planning it. And then, of course, COVID happened and we go, oh, no 2020 Founders Day. But even this year, we're getting a late start. Normally, I would have started the fundraising. We're doing you've been flocked and you've been goosed. And
people see that in the paper. What is this flocked and this goosed thing? What the heck? And
there's expenses to putting on any event. And mainly it is
insurance.
The insurance and the flyers and posters and things like that. And I didn't want to, if we're planning events that kind of bring people to the downtown, support our restaurants, support our stores and get our stores involved, I don't want to have to go to Messick's or Kittle's and say, hey, can you pay for this event we can support you? I wanted to do something where we could all reach into our own pockets a little bit and put these events on. But I'm really excited. I mean, there's going to be a tractor show and a tractor parade.
I know, that's kind of exciting.
Sadie Ash is putting that on for Farmer's Daughter, and the excitement centered around. I mean, there's going to be other things too. There's going to be the historic photography show at Art Council. You have to come down and see it. if you've never been in city council chambers, there's pictures there of Colusa around the turn of the century.
Yep.
And most people, I would say 99% of the public have never
seen it.
In City Hall's council chambers. So hopefully they'll have those kind of photographs in there. Vendors in the park, like I said.
There's a historic buildings tour.
We're going to bring John Morton back up here. That's the Heritage Preservation Commission. We're going to have 2 tours. That's at 10 o'clock and noon, because the parade for the tractors on Levee is 11 and 1. Okay. So it kind of puts people on this end of town and Main Street an hour before the parade for the tractors. Of course, the tractor show will be the full 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Main Street. Get out and walk, and we're not going to bombard people with like food and in the park. I mean, Market Street's going to be open. Rocco's is going to be open. The little food
trucks are going to be here.
They're here. We've got the food already down here. I imagine we'll have one food vendor in the park. But come and eat. And
there's also like going to be some kid activities, cornhole, Nerf games for kids. I've heard a lot of people are excited about that.
Chief Conley is putting on Nerf shoot in the fire department. So that's going to be great. And of course, they always welcome kids and their parents to come in and tour the station and look at the equipment. And so he's going to have some games where kids get to shoot Nerf guns. And let's see what else. The Chamber of Commerce will be right in front of All-Star Realty here on 5th and Market Street.
And the Bookworm's
We'll be handing out stuff. The Bookworm's going to be open. We're encouraging any of the stores to have sidebar. The Mercantile, our little store. Hopefully we're stocked by Fair Parade. And
I don't think I've talked about that too much. The Mercantile.
Yeah, the Mercantile. We have a little store. So,
but we're hoping that, if anyone has a damn business downtown in Colusa, that they're open that day. So that way people can come visit them. The street is not going to be closed off on Market Street. So you'll have to find parking, get out and walk, be safe with the traffic and everything. But like we said, there's going to be that tractor show on Main Street. There's the activities in Veterans Memorial Park. So for the vendor fair, again, Karen's house is putting on, and so you need to contact Diana, and her telephone number is 530-681-2532. That is for Karen's house for the vendors there at Founders Day here in Colusa, which I can't remember if we said the date. It's Saturday, June 19th.
It is Saturday, June 19th.
9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then for the tractor parade, if you have an antique tractor or some kind of neat piece of equipment, engines, something that would be kind of cool to be entered in for that, or even I'm pretty sure if you had some vintage piece of car, like a Model T or something like that, you can enter in by emailing sadiebash@gmail.com. That's Sadie B Ash ASH @gmail.com, or call her at 707-217-6504.
And it's going to be a great event. And this is going to be an annual event. And the idea was that nonprofits would each spearhead their own events. I did forget to mention that the Colusa County Office of Education will have some children's activities in the park. Master Gardeners will have some information, and I don't think any of the informational booths will have to pay. They'll be on the side with CCOE, and Karen's house are doing vendors. There is a cost for vendors because it is also a fundraiser for Karen's house, which is a wonderful cause.
And hopefully it'll be a fun day to come down and just enjoy. And so for those out there, Founders Day is actually a joint effort between all of these organizations, but also part of the Pioneer Review Community Fund. It's a fund that we've started with the Community Foundation of Colusa County, and it's kind of to do events like this and stuff for the community, to do some scholarships, to do some help out with other nonprofits with other types of activities and stuff not they got going on. It's just a way to help us, get the community together and, help each other out
and collaborate. Yeah. I mean, this event can only get bigger. We had planned a car show this year. Next year, we hope to have a nonprofit take a car show around the courthouse. I would like to see a boat show at some time.
That would be kind of cool.
A specialty show every year, or a motorcycle show, or
or some kind of a concert, or something.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's so many opportunities that can be done with this, and like you said, it was one of those things that we're looking at. You know what? Colusa had a great turnout for their sesquicentennial.
Yeah.
And it would be kind of great to kind of keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
And then as the years go on, when a time for their sesquicentennial, that's 80 years? No.
The sesquicentennial was 150 years.
150, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know my numbers when you talk like 150 is, 175 years, 200 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully this continues on going and,
just an annual event. It will always follow Fair Week.
Yep.
But it will always be a free event. It's not an idea that it's going to be an admission paid event. It will always have a free car show to come and look at, and a free truck, some kind of specialty show like tractors or boats or.
And it kind of, when we started this and said that, a couple of people was kind of confused with Pioneer Day.
Yeah.
And it kind of models the same thing after that when it got started. It was an event where groups and organizations can pull together and have these events and whatnot. And because I remember back in the day when Pioneer Day had a car show, Pioneer Day had all this other stuff. So we're trying to mirror that here because Colusa needs something.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're planning to do on Saturday, June 19th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in downtown Colusa. So again, they're at Veterans Memorial Park. There's their vendor fair. You can contact Diana. They're at Karen's house at 530-681-2532. There's going to be cornhole, children's activities, food, and much more. There's going to be in downtown Colusa Nerf games at the Colusa Fire Department, a historic photo exhibit at the Colusa County Arts Council. There's the historic buildings tour from 10 a.m. and noon, beginning at 500 Market Street here in Colusa. So then you can learn about some of the history, learn about the history of the building that we're in. Used to be the Colusa Meat Market. And then the Vintage Tractor Show and Tractor Parade. The Vintage Tractor Show is at Main Street between 5th and 7th Streets. And then the Tractor Parade will be at Colusa State Park on the levee. It will begin at Levee Park to Bridge Street and loop back to Main. So for the tractor show or the parade, contact Sadie Ash at 707-217-6504. Or if, you driving and you can't write this down, visit our website at ColusaCountyNews.com and click on the Colusa Founders Day logo, and all of that information is there.
Yeah. And let me talk a little bit about DFT Cornhole.
Oh, yeah. That's the event that we're helping out.
Well, we really had planned to have some kind of a charity tournament or something like that. DFT is trying to get people interested in cornhole, learning how to play cornhole. And
it's gotten very popular lately.
It's gotten very popular. And this will be an opportunity to come out and try it. So just try your hand at it, play, get to learn it, and then maybe you'll want to get involved in the Monday night one at Rocco's and the casino on Saturday nights. Yeah. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, they're doing pretty good with that cornhole. I remember when it first started, there was, I think it was the Tap Room had a tournament or something one time, and it was like, what is this?
Yeah, everybody's going, what's cornhole?
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay. And there was like, oh, yeah, that's the game we play in our backyard when we're drinking.
Yeah.
And then it's gotten very popular, and now it's very competitive.
Yeah.
It's new bowling.
It's beanbag, it's easy. It's light boards that you could set up, beanbags. I used to play horseshoe on a horseshoe league. My husband and I did, my daughter and her boyfriend years ago. And you lug around those heavy horseshoes and it's kind of like that. You play it the same kind of way, but it's just beanbags in a hole. So it's fun.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff going on. I'm excited. And graduations coming up next week. And, oh Lord, I think we're finally back into the swing of things.
Oh yeah, and if you want to sponsor a senior, call us. I'm sponsoring mine. We adopted seniors in Maxwell, so I got.
By the time this episode comes out, the deadline will be done and over with.
Oh,
so,
that's true.
So, and I'll hopefully have all of them sold by then. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we'll be publishing our annual senior edition. Has all of the seniors and their photos from the county. So you'll be wanting to pick up next week's paper for that. So to talk a little bit about news that's not happening in Colusa County, have you heard today you can win a chance at $15 million? Well, not 15 million. It's more like $1.5 million, but you and 10 other people can split $15 million if you get your vaccine. So if you are already vaccinated or you're planning on getting vaccinated, and you live in California, age 12 and older, and you've received at least your first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, you can enter in to win $1.5 million from the state of California.
So you actually have to enter, right? So
the prize money will be paid after the winner has completed their vaccination series. From my understanding, when you get vaccinated, you're automatically entered, or you go to the state's COVID website at covid19.ca.gov. You can go on there and make sure that you are entered.
What about people who, I was selling raffle tickets, and I asked somebody if they wanted to buy a raffle ticket for, we've got the Pause for Cause, and the Maxwell Auxiliary has a wonderful Green Mountain Grill from Kittles that's just awesome. I asked someone if they wanted to buy a ticket, and they said they did not enter games of chance because it wasn't allowed in their religion. So I don't know. He might have just been blowing me off.
I think that person was just trying to nicely blow you off. I don't know. I've never heard of that.
But also people who have gambling. This is what I heard.
Oh.
People with gambling addictions who have trying to stay away from gambling.
Yeah, what if somebody goes and gets revaccinated? They already had it, and they get revaccinated because they think that they have to
double the chances of winning.
The chances of winning or something.
It doesn't work like that.
No, and don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, and then additionally,
you have to show ID to get a vaccine.
And because they have to. That's not all. Everyone with at least one COVID-19 dose in the state of California will be automatically entered in to win the big $50,000 Fridays. 30 winners will take home $50,000. 15 people will win on Friday, June 4th, and another 15 on Friday, June 11th. You're eligible to win on $50,000 Fridays if you live in California or age 12 and older and have at least your first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Does this count as windfall? I mean, what if you are on a social service program that is based on your income?
I can get the 1.5 million. Say I win that.
And are they going
to take the taxes, so I'm actually only going to get 750,000?
Yeah,
it's still a lot of money, but at the same time, it's like, no thanks. It's like, I was
thinking more like if you were on Medi-Cal or something,
most definitely.
And you win $5,000, does it count as windfall, or do they take away whatever? I mean, I know people that get medicine that's valued at thousands of dollars a month.
Most definitely. I wonder about that, if they've actually considered that, or because if they're on a federal program that's not, regulated by, because I'm sure if it's a state program, they might adjust some regulations or something. But even then,
there's always stuff in the fine print, because any kind of game of chance that you win, you get a 1099 for. So
yeah, and then there's terms and conditions, and you can go to the state's website. Because I had
a friend win that $1,000 Walmart thing, that automatic. She got that, and then she got the 1099.
Well, remember when Oprah gave, you get a car, you get a car, and all these people were so excited. They were all getting these Kia Sorrentos or whatever it was at the time, Toyota Corollas, something like that. And everybody was all excited. And as they were getting ready to leave, they were all handed tax bills for like $3,000-4,000.
Right. You pay the tax, the licensing.
And they were like, what's this for? And they're like, oh, you have to pay the taxes and licensing before you take home the car. And a lot of people either didn't even take it.
They don't
take it back in.
They turn it back into the dealer, and the dealer they still make a profit on it, because you get back far less than what they're going to resell it for. So that's same way when you win a car in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to take it and pay the taxes, or you could just sell it back to the dealer.
And then also, because the state can't just stop there, you call the shot, California, as this new thing. I swear to God, these names, you can tell something's going on. And it's like somebody got out of marketing school. Not yet vaccinated. It's now your time. Starting on May 27th, the first 2 million Californians to start and complete their COVID-19 vaccination will receive a $50 virtual gift card that can be spent online or in store where any major debit cards are accepted. Or you can get a $50 grocery card from Kroger or Ralph's or Food for Less or Foods Co. Or a $50 gift card from Albertsons, Safeway, Vaughn's, Pavilions, and Rosino's community markets. I'm just like, what are we doing?
I know.
Isn't this a gift of public funds? I mean, that when I see this, I'm like going, this, you're giving people to encourage them to get a vaccine, which I'm not going to argue on the vaccine. That is an individual choice. That is something you need to discuss with yourself and your doctor before you even decide to do something like that. But they're giving away money, incentives. They're bribing people
it's bribing.
Take a vaccine. And it's like, vax for when? Can we not? I mean, I'm going to just say it. We have a governor who is going to be recalled or have a recall election.
Recall.
And we have a new thing called Vax for the Win. And you call the shot, California? Can we see the puns? Just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Someone was being a little punny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that seems to be a very gift of public funds, but I'm pretty sure under some doctrine somewhere they'll say it's part of the public health benefit and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, vaccines are doing great across the country. 50% of our nation is vaccinated. About 20% have either had COVID, and so they have somewhat of some kind of natural immunity to it, I guess you can say, or antibodies or whatever it may need that their bodies need to fight that. Our numbers are continuing to decline.
The masks are gone for most.
For most parts. California, June 15th, we will see. But I'm sorry. I'm like, nope, I'm not wearing mine. I'm sorry.
I stopped wearing mine. Yeah, I'm over it.
You're going to ask me to wear a mask. I'm not coming into your store until you let me walk in without it. That's my position. That's where I'm standing.
I am now. That's why I got vaccinated.
Yep. It's just, it's we need to get back to normal life. We need to get back to the way things were.
Except in the courtroom. Judge Thompson can order me to wear a mask, and I will wear a mask, and I will wear it over my nose until they drop that. That's the only place I will comply.
That man can put you in jail.
Yes.
I can't wear shorts into the courthouse. No. So why don't go to court?
Yeah, the bailiff threw out someone for shorts last week. So that's really the only place where you respect the dictates of the judge on clothing and whatnot. It's
his courtroom.
It's his courtroom.
Or her courtroom. It is their courtroom. You have to follow the rule. Just like with the business. If they say they have a sign that says no shoes, no shirt, no service, well, you can't walk in without a shirt on. Yeah. They have that. And so, it's just one of those things.
And if they do the mask, and then you have the choice.
Yes, you have the choice. You have the freedom. Well, I don't want to wear a mask, so I'm not going to go in here. Yeah. That is my freedom as I can as a citizen of this country.
Even the Dollar Tree in Willows has been the most, no one will enter without a mask. So I always wear a mask, and it was still, I forgot it yesterday, and I had to get more flowers for Memorial Day. And I went in without a mask, and they didn't say anything, but they did early in the thing.
There was one particular hardware store a couple weekends ago. They've been very big on masks and whatnot, and I walked in, didn't have my mask, totally forgot it. Walked in, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in here without it. They're gonna say something," and they didn't. And it was actually nice. It kind of feels weird being in a store seeing people's faces. Yeah. It is just weird. And, and I see people who still wear it, and I understand. If you want to still wear your mask, please do. I mean, that's your choice. But it's just like, man, it's weird seeing faces that you haven't seen for the last year people smiling, people, before you just saw their eyes and everybody looked gloomy and sad and depressed.
But we've terrified our children into wearing them. And that's my biggest concern, because you see kids out riding their bikes with their masks on.
By themselves.
I saw a woman walking over the overpass in Willows from Walmart, in a hot day.
Yeah.
With a mask on the overpass by herself walking.
Our country is very privileged in the sense that we have the availability of a vaccine that works.
Yes.
That if someone feels that they are afraid or needs that extra protection, you can get vaccinated and you can protect yourself. And if you want to have that feeling of protecting others, you can do that with a vaccine. Like you said, our kids, the miserable looks on their faces and how they're so ingrained that they have to wear that because that's what school is doing.
Right.
And it's like, well, no. And hopefully we can fix that before we have a big problem. But anyhow,
I don't know. I think kids are going to go to school in masks in the fall.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah.
Better
it's
not.
just, no, it's wrong.
Yeah. It's kids shouldn't be in masks. And I think they're getting down to 12 years of age, one of the vaccines the kids can get. So we're getting there.
But my daughter put a video on Facebook of my grandson getting, a certificate, and he's advancing to the next grade. And he's standing there in his mask. And the teacher has her mask where it fits like right under the lip.
Oh, yeah.
It is like, that's the same as not wearing a mask. Why do you have a mask on your chin? It's the same as not wearing a mask. I'm sorry, it's laughable. You look stupid if you're wearing your mask under your nose.
It's just get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Get vaccinated. And if you don't want to get vaccinated, well, then it's your choice not to.
Yeah.
And then it's your choice. If you don't want to get sick, then wear your mask.
Yeah. And a shield. And I've seen people with 3 masks and a shield on. Yeah. It's just like, and gloves.
Yeah. There was one person I saw over in the Roseville area not too long ago, like you said, was walking down the street. I don't know if they came out of one of the stores or something, but face shield, N95, a regular mask over top of it. They were wearing one of those ponchos with gloves over the top of it. And, and I personally am like, however old this person was, and I can say that they were probably over the age of 50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've lived this long and gone through so much. How many times is that? And it's like, and this terrifies you. I feel sad.
I do feel sad.
I feel sad for them because I'm like, what brought you to this and this your life to be this way? I mean, if they have some kind of an immune system, I haven't talked to this person, but I'm just, I don't feel any kind of, disdain or anything towards this person. It's just, I feel just sad that you have to live your life this way. And
still get on the freeway and drive next to truck drivers who are texting and driving at the same time.
In a 1,000-pound bullet that's going 80 miles an hour on the freeway.
It's like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Whereas of late, 90 miles an hour.
90 miles an hour.
I swear, there's no more speed limits. Cars just go.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that is this week's episode of Just Pressed. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We talked about some of the events that are going on that are coming up. We have Memorial Day, Pioneer Day, Fair Around the Block, and then we also talked about Founders Day. If you're
the still exhibit for 4-H in Maxwell is coming up this weekend or next weekend
so if you're interested in more information or more news, visit ColusaCountyNews.com and you can find information.
Stop in our new office. Pick up the newspaper. It's all in there. It's all in there. Yeah.
It's only $1. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in the next one.
Like what we do? Share us on Facebook, Instagram, and tell all your friends to tune in. And don't forget to visit our website and show us some love at RadioColusa.com.